Hello, and welcome back. My name is Kanye. To the new ones, welcome home. To my regulars who has not subscribed, please make sure that you subscribe. Thank you to those who have subscribed, and please like and share the page. And you can even comment down below. Okay, I came back from Joburg. I came back with the school money, the money that I borrowed from the teacher for the bus, and yes, so when I come back home, I arrived to the angry and furious Mamzo's sisters, both Maria and Martha, were so angry at me to such an extent because now it was time to reopen school after the first semester. So I'm supposed to go back to school for the second semester. However, when I arrived at home looking for the things that I was using at varsity, the things that my mother gave me or borrowed me to use at the varsity, things like pots, plates, cutlery, and all those things that you use to at varsity. Fortunately enough, the iron and the kettle I got from my, oh, no. Later on, I didn't have an iron, I didn't have a kettle at that time. So all those basic things, bedding, blankets, etc., Martha took them and locked them in her house. Remember, she's not staying, her house is not far from our home. However, she's often at home. So she took all my things. And when I asked my grandmother, where are my school things? She said the usual place because when I came back from varsity, I just left my things in my boxes so that when the school reopens, I just take my box and go. I said, no, there's nothing. There's no box. There's nothing. And she was also angry. She said, I knew who took them. And then we went there, down there. My grandmother was a drama queen, if I could call it like that. She was a drama queen. She went down there. She was a big woman. Yeah. So she went there. Just even before we reached her house, she was shouting, "Hey, so and so," calling her by the name. "Open and take out all my children's things. Those things are not yours. Those things are mine." And then she opened, and then my grandmother was shouting at her, giving her peace of her mind. And then, yes, Martha came clean and said that I went to Joburg to destroy her sister's marriage. And unfortunately, that was not the case. That was not the case. I went to Joburg for my rights. I have a right to education. I never asked to be here. I never asked to be born, to be brought in this world. So now that I'm here in this world, I have to suffer for what? Whereas there are two people who brought me here. So, yes, she has to take out my things, like it or not, because they don't belong to her as well. They are my grandmothers. They don't belong to her at all. So I had the right because the owner of those things gave it to me. However, she took some of the things that I got from her sister, like there was a bedding, a duvet cover that I got from Maria. She took it. Even today, it's still with them. And and I'm not worried about that because that made me strong. That made me realize that I can do it without them, without their help. So got back my things. I went to Varsity. And then life continued. Life continued to show that Mamzo and her sisters had really something against me being a child. Maria was a teacher, and she got paid like on the 20th, but not a single day. You know, I've got friends from Varsity. One of them, she's a local as well, from the same university as mine. So her grandmother is getting paid like the pension. She's getting paid on the, I think it was the first of whatever. There's a, you know, those pension dates. But on those dates, we know that, oh, we're gonna eat nice because my grandmother's friend is getting paid. Sometimes we'll accompany her to town. Her grandmother will buy her some of the things, and she will bring like sour milk, amasi from home to, you know, she knows that her grandchild is not alone. So she will always give her things for things which are for not one person, if you get what I'm trying to say. But however, for me, I think I've mentioned that I have to wait for Mamso was getting paid on the 25th. I don't know money on the 25th. Okay, let me say Maria was getting paid on the 20th. I don't know money on the 20th. Fine, I'm not her child, so why should I? Mamso was getting paid on the 25th. I don't know money on the 25th. All the time I have to wait. I knew debit orders while I was still young. I knew that I have to wait for her debit orders to deduct, and then I will get whenever the debit orders are off. And when I grew up, I realized that you know your debit orders are so much. You know how much change you get. If you really cared for someone, if anyone was in the varsity knows the struggle that we have, you know, even if you are working, a week before you get paid, you always struggle to have petrol, to have bread money, and so forth. So imagine you are working, but that last week before payday, is a tough one. So just imagine when you are a student, how much more. It is even worse because the money that we got is never enough. Because in this money, you still have to buy food, you buy toiletries, you still have to have money for bread. You still have to have money to make copies and all sort of other things. But for me, I have to wait till the third or the fifth after all the debit orders went off, so I'll get the money. But I was even grateful for that because it's better than nothing. So as I'm saying, not a single day that on the 20th Maria will call me to town because The varsity was actually in town in a way. So when she's going to work, she's passing town. When she's going home, back home, she's passing town. So not a single time. So for them to take the bedding that she gave me, a bag, and it was not a train smash because they never showed any kind of support for me. They never showed any kind of support for me. However, here am I survived against all those odds. I really survived. So I continued studied, uh, finished the first year, and no, before finishing the first year, here comes the story of me going to Joburg for the second time, unannounced. Let me make that video now, and then I know that at least I'm sorted for some time, even if I'll shoot again next week. Okay, have a lovely one. Stay blessed.